Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're demystifying the highly technical, yet absolutely fascinating, blueprint of how autonomous AI agents actually operate. If you've ever wondered what goes on under the hood of those intelligent systems that seem to just manage complex tasks entirely on their own, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's dive right in.
You know, we hear the buzzword autonomous AI everywhere in the tech space right now. But how does the underlying software architecture actually take a user request, break it down into manageable steps, and then execute it perfectly without human intervention? It might feel like actual magic when you see the final result, but as we're going to see today, it's actually a meticulously structured and highly logical pipeline.
Okay, here's our quick agenda for today. First, the Agentic Workflow Blueprint. Second, Foundation, Models and Data. Third, the Context and Orchestration Layers. Fourth, the App Layer Agents. And finally, the Future of Automation.
Section 1. The Agentic Workflow Blueprint. Let's take a bird's-eye view.
So, what we're looking at is a 5-layer architecture. Honestly, think of it like the construction of a high-tech skyscraper. We can trace exactly how data travels up and down these distinct levels. The flow of information moves from layer 1 all the way down at the absolute bottom, up through layers 2, 3, and 4 until it connects directly to layer 5 at the very top. Now, every single layer has a hyper-specialized, distinct function. Nothing is just jumbled together. The architecture demands that each layer only interacts with the layers immediately above or below it. It's absolutely crucial for maintaining strict order and efficiency.
Moving right along to Section 2. Foundation, Models and Data. We're building the base.
Every single agentic workflow begins at step 1, the LLMs or large language models and other core models sitting at the very base of our skyscraper. But here's the catch. These foundation models, they're essentially just raw reasoning engines. Out of the box, they literally don't know the specifics of your business. And that is exactly why they are completely dependent on step 2, the data layer, which rests directly above them. This data layer acts as a vital feed, supplying the models with the specific raw materials and facts they need to do their job accurately and, avoid those crazy hallucinations.
You see, the models need a robust memory bank to actually make informed decisions. This memory bank is fueled by essential, real-world business information pulled from external data sources. We're talking standard relational databases, deep archives like historical quotes, and live systems like a connected CRM. Without this grounded data, your AI is just guessing. But with it, it becomes an incredibly powerful, highly informed engine completely customized to your specific environment.
Now, to actually feed this massive amount of external data to the models efficiently, Layer 2 organizes the information using 2 distinct structures: vector databases and knowledge graphs. These are critical concepts, so let's break them down. Vector databases are fantastic for mathematical, unstructured searches, basically finding similarities and patterns in massive blocks of text. Knowledge graphs, on the other hand, are absolutely perfect for mapping complex, definitive relationships between specific entities, like, say, linking a very specific customer to a very specific insurance policy. Together, they ensure the LLMs get exactly the right context depending on what's being asked.
Let's move to Section 3, the context and orchestration layers. This is the plumbing and framing of our system.
In Layer 3, the context layer, the system relies on specific tools to connect all that structured data we just talked about, pushing it upward into the system. LangChain typically handles the vector data provisioning. It essentially creates the pipeline for those unstructured, similarity-based queries. Meanwhile, Llama Index steps in to provision the graph data, expertly navigating those complex relational webs. Think of them as specialized conduits, making sure the right type of data flows smoothly without ever getting bottlenecked.
So the crucial takeaway here is that Layer 4, the orchestration layer, acts like a highly intelligent traffic top. When a complex task comes down from the application layer above, this orchestration layer makes the actual micro-decisions. It asks itself, okay, which context tool do I need right now? Do I need a vector search via LangChain or a graph query via Llama Index? It manages the exact routing of the data retrieval. It essentially coordinates the chaos so that the layers above and below it operate completely seamlessly.
All right, Section 4, the App Layer Agents, the front-facing staff.
This is the penthouse. Here is where the autonomous agents actually live and work. Think of them as your highly specialized front-facing staff. For example, let's look at an insurance pipeline. You don't just have one generic AI trying to do the whole shebang. No way. You have narrowly focused agents. Agent 1 handles the initial insurance quote generation. Agent 2 takes that quote and specializes purely in negotiation. Once they agree, Agent 3 steps in for contract execution, and Agent 4 takes the final baton to actually issue the policy. This strict division of labor is exactly what makes the system so remarkably accurate.
And the workflow just continues seamlessly to cover the entire business lifecycle. We've got additional agents dedicated to ongoing operations, all working together in incredible harmony. Agent 5 is primed for general customer service. Agent 6 has the specialized permissions to submit a claim. Agent 7 acts as a smart catch-all for miscellaneous questions that don't fit a standard mold. And crucially, Agent 8 is purely dedicated to writing all these outcomes back to the CRM, ensuring the company's core records are always perfectly up to date. Each agent simply relies on the orchestration layer below it to fetch exactly what it needs to succeed.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the interaction loop at the very top. The user only ever interacts with this app layer. They send in their request and receive their delivered results entirely shielded from the complex orchestration, the framework routing, and the data retrieval happening down in the engine room. From the user's perspective, the experience is effortless and practically instantaneous. It completely obscures the massive, structured computational effort occurring across the 4 layers below them.
Finally, Section 5, the future of automation. Let's put it all together.
By cleanly isolating the foundational LLM models from the context tools and separating those from the front-facing specialized agents, this 5-layer blueprint allows businesses to automate highly complex, multi-step pipelines with just incredible precision. You get an architecture that is super easy to update and debug. It brings together specialized autonomous agents, absolutely seamless user interactions, and integrated real-time data retrieval into one coherent, scalable machine. It effectively replaces fragile single-prompt AI with robust enterprise-grade systems. It's a real game changer.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. If this precise 5-layer architecture can deploy 8 specialized agents to entirely manage an insurance firm's daily pipeline, literally from the initial quote down to the final CRM update, how could these 5 layers revolutionize your own industry tomorrow? Think about the mundane, multi-step processes sitting in your business right now that could be totally transformed by an agentic workflow. Thanks so much for joining me to break this blueprint down, and I hope this helps you see the absolute incredible potential of structured AI automation. Catch you next time.